You get gold edges.
It's upsetting how beautiful it is.
I cannot even conceive of the size of the saw on the tiny little tendrils on the dragon's nose.
It's really
mildly
fine.
upsetting. I could imagine this guy leaving his workshop one day being like, I am really, really good at this. Oh, so this is the same thing that the Buddha was fighting under the banyan tree.
Exactly.
And I'm glad, because at first I looked at this and I thought, who would have a monkey orgy on their sword? Hey everybody, Adam Savage. It is Japanese Sword Day here at the Met. I'm here with Ted. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Ted, I love Japanese swords. I love swords in general. And I don't know a huge amount, like terminology and things, but I know what these are. These are Tsuba, right? These are the cross guard of a samurai sword.
Yep.
The part between the handle and the blade.
Yes.
I have looked at many pictures of Tsuba and seen many over the years, but you've put out a spread here that is blowing my mind.
I'm glad to hear that.
Just walk me through. What is this?
Okay. So they're sword guards. You're absolutely right. And what I picked here was a selection of some of my favorites from our enormous collection of sword guards, but also ones that represent a little bit of sort of a range of time period, but more importantly, a lot of different materials, different things that have been used to make or decorate a sword guard. Now, some of the earliest ones, like this one here, you can see they're all iron.
Gotcha. Right.
And their significant feature is they get a lot of pierce work, right? They're kind of cut through, but they're just a piece of iron. Very good at protecting the hand, which is good because these come from kind of a warring period. These are use sword guards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these have a familiarity to me, right? The piercing work and the slight irregularity around the holes. Like this feels like a lot of the armor I've seen around this building, right?
Yeah.
Like handmade, hand hewn.
For sure. And they, as time goes on, they do get we're crossing the streams here. We do get a little more refined. We get gold edges. Okay. It's a dragon.
I know, but where is the piercing? First of all, you said these are early, so how old is that?
This one is late Momoyama, which is, so the Edo period follows that, and that starts 1615, I think. And so this is, late 1500s, very early 1600s. And this is probably done with little saws.
Right,
but then they've gilt the edge too.
I cannot even conceive of the size of the saw on these tiny little tendrils on the dragon's nose.
The craftsmanship is bonkers. This transitions into the Edo period, where the craftsmanship just goes through the roof.
That already feels like craftsmanship through the roof to me.
It's very nice. So after the warring period, right, when there's basically a great deal of peace happening throughout Japan, the ruling class is still the samurai and the shogunate and everything. You've got an emphasis on not making armor and weapons for use, but for show and craftsmanship and art and culture and,
all the other reasons armor might get used.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
Exactly. And so you get this incredible profusion of different materials and the rise of like pictorial scenes on Tsuba rather than these very, very nice geometric patterns and things.
But these are, they seem like a deep, deep celebration of craft, refinement, and precision.
Absolutely. And then one of the other kind of cool things that happens is, so let's say you own your grandfather's blade.
Right.
He wore it in the wars. He was victorious, and survived to come home and give you the blade as a young Adam. And so you want to wear that blade, but of course you don't want to wear his grotty 75-year-old scabbard. Oh. Right? You're going to meet the emperor. You have to have a very brand new scabbard.
So you might have new furniture made for Granddad's sword?
Absolutely. The blades remained in the family. Handed down. Yeah. Of course, you'd buy new blades too. Yeah. You're rich. You're going to go out and buy a new blade and commission the greatest blade maker to make you one. But you're going to want a set of fittings for meeting the emperor, for your daughter's wedding, for when you are elevated to daimyo, things like that.
Those might be different sets of fittings?
Absolutely. You'd go out and get one that's very subdued and black, very refined for meeting the emperor. You don't want to show up anybody, right? But for the wedding, you all go crazy, right?
Right. Diamonds and sparkles.
Yeah. Cherry blossom festival. I'm going to get cherry blossoms on my sword, things like that.
You guys must have collected then some swords over the years where it came with multiple sets of furniture?
We have multiple sets of furniture for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Typically, when we acquire a blade, it's either by itself or it's with a mounting.
Gotcha.
We don't necessarily get the blade and every mounting it ever had.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
But that certainly was the thing. You'd have had multiple sets of mountings.
I had no idea that people would. Yeah, of course that makes total sense. It just never occurred to me.
And then
you
get a vogue for collecting Tsuba, right? So there's some Tsuba that are made just to be Tsuba and to be traded and collected. And this is why we have...
So the art form elevates so much that it becomes its own object.
Its own thing, yeah. So we've got, a few dozen really good blades and hundreds of Tsuba. And we got a few of them here.
So it really is a celebration of craft. It really is like, here's what we can do in this tiny 3-inch canvas.
I'm going to point a few things out here. We can look at whatever you want, but we have things like, decorating with gold, right? Carving and cutting and creating flowers. This one is Edo period. I don't have an exact date on it. Sometimes they are signed. They're often not signed.
I see a little bit of what looks like a kind of a filler there to adjust the size, maybe to the blade a little bit.
Absolutely.
Refine the fit.
You put a piece of soft copper in there, and then as you tap it onto the blade, you get a really snug fit.
Now, I'm looking at this, it's at least hundreds of years old. The gilding and the precision of the gilding is shocking. This seems to me like some of the best gilding I could imagine.
It's extremely well preserved. It's very well cared for, very well done.
Yeah.
The craft on it is very high. And it's probably not seen, battle use.
Right, fair, totally fair.
We have things like this one here, which has gold inlaid, just as this one, but then you have mother of pearl flower petals.
And these are, when they're laying in the gold, that is like, they're oh my God, that feels, so they're scratching its paths and then hammering it in, and then oh my God.
Yeah, probably you'd carve the lines, tap in the wire, do some filing or sanding, whatever, and then inlay the mother of pearl last.
Do you know the significance of the 4 lobes that is repeated on many of these?
It's a popular shape.
Okay.
You see some that are very round, some that are lobed. You get some like this one here, which has all kinds of
What is going on?
So this is a style of metalworking called mokumogane. If you look at the edge, you'll be able to see it.
It's laminated, and it looks almost like laminated Fimo clay, except I can feel the weight of this. It's metal.
It's shibuichi, which is a copper-silver alloy, and copper, soft copper.
And they're laminating sheets of this in layers. It's upsetting how beautiful it is.
It'd be like that with a CNC machine.
Yes.
You'd be done in a second.
But like,
by
is
hand.
someone sitting there with a file and a chisel and just slowly, it's
think they might
so beautiful. Oh my God.
And I really like this pair here, so we'll start with this one. The gold wire work on this is astonishing to me. And it goes over the edges, around on both sides.
Oh my Lord. And this is also the same kind of wire filling, right?
Yep.
Where each line is scratched and then filled.
It blows my mind.
Right?
But then they did it here with abalone shell, which is like, come on, that's just unfair.
Let's do it with something that doesn't bend, has no ductility, and is unforgiving. Oh my God.
And just look at the way it reflects.
That's like, I could imagine this guy leaving his workshop one day being like, I am really, really good at this.
Nailed that one.
No, every time I've thought that, the universe will wind it up and gave me a smack across the chops.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Ted. And this is, again, I'm still looking at something that's hundreds of years old.
Yeah, Edo period. And then we get, it becomes very popular to these sort of pictorial scenes. Some of them are simply like this one. It's a snake.
Right.
Looks good. That's a very nice snake. And then both sides are not the same. Like it's different. Like the snake is like it's lying down on this side.
It's a real physical presence on the sword. Do you know that would they have used like a lost wax technique for something like this, or was this also subtractively built, like carved away?
It's possible that there were some makers doing it with a lost wax, but my understanding is that this was typically they were carved.
Crazy.
Yeah. So sometimes they're just a snake or a grasshopper or
the Grasshopper.
You know,
so
what else we
beautiful.
got? Sometimes they are very specific scenes from legend, or like they are figures that I think that if you were steeped in the mythology,
Right.
you would look at this and know what story is being
Look at
referenced.
this. It's the ocean ball. It's the ocean on one side and shells, and then this incredible gold-eyed octopus.
Yeah, and so he's copper.
Okay.
And this is the shibuichi, which is the silver copper alloy.
Gotcha.
with
Oh, he's
inlaid-
red. He's
That's
red.
why
That's
he's
why
red.
he's copper.
But look, he's got little inlaid gold spots to give him
Yes.
texture and so on, and silver. And then on the other side, you've got this copper alloy for that color with gold inlaid and shakudo inlaid and silver inlaid.
Oh my gosh.
And that was pretty common to be able to do. I mean, these are not common pieces. These are very
Right,
high quality
right,
ones. But that type of technique you see a lot of. And we get deer and scenes, and then sometimes we'll get furniture. And I like these in particular because these are meant to look like the sort of screens.
Yeah,
that
folding screens.
Right, made into a sword guard, and more importantly, you have a pair.
So
a
would that
slightly-
have been for the...
For the daisho.
Gotcha.
For the katana and the wakizashi, the pair of swords that marked you as the samurai. And because, these are being traded and collected and not necessarily for use, you find some things that are totally impractical for use in war, like having them made out of leather. Feel the weight on
leather
that.
Tsuba? What?
It's probably hammered rawhide and then lacquered, but it's quite lightweight. But it gives you this very organic texture to it that they can create this. I think it's meant to be like a lily pad or a leaf of some kind.
This is so... There's this veining,
Yeah.
this very gentle veining on the back. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. And I love the idea that they're drifting into impracticality. Like, why not? Let's make one out of
Right.
glass.
Or ivory, which has a fisherman and a fish, possibly.
Fish
there's a
looking kind
myth.
of, I hope
Yeah.
this turns out well for me.
But the texture, you
That's
can
it,
feel,
this-
run your finger across that
These
fine.
little bits of texture
Yeah.
are so crazy.
And patina is part of this, of course, like all of the silver and shibuichi and shakudo and so on, these are patinated and they're allowed to age and tone in certain ways. The same for the ivory. That's not the natural color of ivory. That's
Right,
ivory after a few hundred years of handling and appreciation. Kind of my favorite here in the pile.
Yeah.
And not because it's the best piece of craftsmanship, which I think possibly it might be
Easily
those.
be these, sure.
But I really like this one, and I thought you would enjoy it too. This is 108 monkeys. I haven't
What?
actually counted, but
my
they
God.
represent the 108 defilements that hinder enlightenment.
Oh, so this is the same thing that the Buddha was fighting under the banyan tree.
Exactly. So the different thoughts and emotions
Yes.
and feelings that prevent you from achieving enlightenment. Having that on your sword guard would be, a constant reminder to you to,
Of
mind
all the
your,
ways you can fail in your
Yeah.
mission towards enlightenment. I also think there's a sort of a really a beautiful sense of humor about reminding yourself of your own potential and inevitable failings by having to stare at a bunch of monkeys on your death machine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think whimsy does enter into these. You see, like the fish, or there's scenes where you'll have like cute little different animals, and they just, even when you're dealing with something as serious as the sword guards, charm and whimsy and the kind of those moments of the natural world that have nothing to do with the shogunate or being in Edo or any of those things. Moments of calm and peace and respite on your sword guard, I think, is like the rabbits here, among the grasses.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful.
They're just
little
being
scene.
regular rabbits.
They're being regular rabbits.
They're not out for a killing right now.
That's right. We have these. So these here, these are kozuka handles. These are, you can see that's where you would put a blade.
Oh, that's a little blade that
Just-
goes into potentially one of these.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. This has, some little rabbits on there.
Yeah.
And there's as much variety as you see on these, you'll see on the Fuchi Koshira, the Manuki, the Kozuka Kogai, things like that. We have one upstairs that has a flute on it.
Just a flute.
Just a flute. It's one of my favorite things, just because it's just a flute. And I find it, sort of incongruous, but also makes sense of putting something like that on your sword furniture.
It's fascinating having spent so much time being walked through amazing European armors, Indian armors, Chinese armors, and seeing the graphical elements etched into those.
Sure.
And just being confronted with the intense graphical rigor of these.
It's a lot.
It's tremendous. Like each one feels as precise as like a great Renaissance painting in its layout and its formal aspect.
The craftsmanship is astonishing. The precision of geometry and form and layout. I mean, I am admittedly selecting some of the best from the pile.
Sure.
I have a few Tsuba of my own. They're not this good. They're nice to have. You know, they're fun things. But yeah, the Japanese effort, the craftsmanship, the style, the culture, all of the things behind all of this stuff is one of my favorite parts of our collection.
Well, I feel like that humor takes it out of the martial realm and brings it into the, aren't we remarkable as opposable thumbed beings? Right?
Full thumbs up on that. Yeah, no, it's one of my favorite things to think about when I'm looking at whether it's a sword or a gun or an armor or whatever, is the essential human compulsion to decorate, to refine, to say, you know, like I need a screwdriver.
Yeah.
What it needs to be is a piece of metal with a flat end, but I want, you know, stained wooden handles, and you know, and I've seen people who like, you know what, I'm going to make my own screwdrivers because we're human.
Yeah.
And we just have to decorate things, and we just have to like embellish and beautify our surroundings. And it's one of my favorite things because it really comes out, I think, in our Tsuba collection.
Like I said, I knew and have read a lot about Japanese swords over the years, but this is fundamentally like tripling the breadth of my clarity about how wide this art form goes. This is crazy, and it's so beautiful. Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. One of my favorite things we make in our tested store are demerit badges. These are like scout badges, but for screwing stuff up, because screwing up is not just a part of the making process, it is intrinsic to it, and we like to celebrate that. We've got 27 so far in the supervisor's bundle that you can go buy right now by clicking on the link in the description, but we also have a booster pack of some brand new patches. This is the demerit badge for burning off your eyebrow. I am proudly sewing that to all of my clothes. This is the demerit badge for having a messy workbench, which I do not get today. My workbench is super clean. And we have new octagonal patches that are, merit badges. This is the merit badge for sweeping up your shop. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And this, oh my God, this is great. This is the merit badge for creating a clean space on your bench. Hey, we got to take our successes where they come and meet them there. Go to the tested-store.com or adamsavage.com to buy any of these, or click on a link in the description.